Hi everybody, it's Rose and welcome again to Stories with Rose. Today I'm going to talk about the dentist because I had to make a dentist appointment, and we all have this traumatic stories about the dentist, right? There's always that story about the dentist that we live to tell. I have a story about the dentist that I will never ever forget. It caused so much trauma for me, and right now I am going to retell it so it'll cause the same trauma for you, so you can thank me later. I was in my 20s. I had just gotten sober and I was not doing well. You know, I was struggling. I was fragile. I was not doing well. I got a toothache. And when you are struggling and fragile and not doing well, the last thing you need is an unexpected surprise like a toothache. So I called some friends and somebody mentioned the Northwestern School of Dentistry, downtown Chicago, that they had a clinic that I could go to. So I called, I make an appointment. And by the time I get there, which is, a week later or so, I'm in a lot of pain. And I go in and there's, it's a big room. It's a big room of just chairs and dentists and students and teachers walking all around doing their thing. And most of the clientele, I notice, is struggling as well, but they are obviously struggling. So there was a lot of homeless people, a lot of street workers, a lot of disenfranchised. So the deal is you go in, you sit down, a student assesses your mouth while a bunch of other students watch. And then a professor comes and checks the work. So I was cute at the time, and it's a bunch of 25, 26-year-old guys, and they were happy to see me. So they're like, "Oh my God, a girl." And even though no one was inappropriate, they were laughing and, having fun. So the professor comes over and she's this 50-something, I would say closer to 60, woman wearing a white coat, just like a professor. She's got on a scarf, a colorful scarf. She has an exotic accent and long dark hair. So she notices that these guys are kind of happy to be my dentist. She takes the clipboard, she looks in my mouth, she starts assessing whatever he wrote down. She's telling the guys to take a closer look at this and this, and going over like dental anatomy that I wasn't familiar with at all. And she suddenly says, "Oh, look at this. Come close, guys. I want to show you that she has a muscle on the bottom, on the floor of her mouth that is larger than the other side." So I had these muscles, one side was bigger than the other. It was not symmetrical. So she's going over different reasons why it could be that way. And the guys are all looking, everyone's getting in real close. They're looking right into my mouth. I have the light on me. It feels like I have a camera on me because there's so many people looking at me. And she's talking, about different anatomical parts of my mouth. She's trying to figure out how this muscle could have gotten bigger than this muscle. And she says to me, "Could it be because you give a lot of fellatio?" I am not kidding. That is what she asked me. And that's what I thought. I was like, did I just hear what I thought I heard? And I'm thinking to myself, did this lady just ask me if I give a lot of blowjobs? As if I'm trying to build the muscles in my mouth like a bodybuilder would build his arms. I was like, this isn't right? It doesn't register. And I ask, I say, "What did you say?" And she asks again, "Do you give a lot of fellatio?" And I'm like shocked. And I think everyone around me is kind of shocked. They all start sort of hiding and looking away, and nobody can look at me. And I ask, "Is it necessary that I answer this question in order to get treatment?" Because I was totally humiliated, and answering that question would have made me more humiliated. And I wasn't even sure why she was asking me the question. And she goes on to tell me that this is for educational reasons, that these young men need to know this particular thing of how this muscle gets, more tone than the other side for their dental future. And I look out to these guys, and they can barely look at me. I in my eyes, I ask them for help, and I know they can't help me because this woman is in charge of their dental destiny, right? And I just shrivel up. I totally shrink inside. And I can't even believe that I'm at a prestigious school, downtown Chicago, and I am demoralized to this level. And I ask her again, is it necessary that I answer this question in order to get my tooth fixed? And she says the same spiel about it being some educational thing that these young men need to know and this and that. And she actually made it sound legitimate. I'm not kidding you. And I answer the question. I say no more or no less than anybody else. And she's like seemingly very pleased with herself and says, there you have it. And she assigns me a dentist and walks away. And I am just shrunken from like, you know, a young, you know, woman to like just nothing, seriously. And I'm embarrassed. I'm full of shame. And I look around at all the other clients in there and I see that they're actually doing worse than I am. That there's probably a bunch of street workers that come in there and this is who they have taking care of their medical needs. And I just feel sorry for everybody. In fact, I feel more sorry for them than I do for myself. And to this day, I still can't figure out what would make somebody do that. What would make somebody embarrass somebody like that? So I'm that woman's age now. And I would never even think to do that. Never, not in a million years. Never. Doesn't matter how I feel about myself. That just doesn't seem right to me at all. And by the way, no, it's not a thing. No, you cannot like, you know, tone your muscles by giving a lot of blowjobs. I know, because I've talked to a million dentists after this about this particular incident. And they couldn't even believe it. They were just like floored that that actually even like happened in their, you know, in their dentist, you know, community. So I'd like to hear about your dentist related trauma. Leave a comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great day, y'all.